Hey everyone, James Nico here. Thank you for tuning back into the YouTube channel. Today I'd like to talk about Nico rig fishing, or weighted wacky rig fishing, and a subtle difference that could make a difference in whether or not you're going to get bites. And it doesn't seem like much, but it actually can make a difference in how your bait falls. And obviously rate of fall is definitely important in triggering fish. It's proven to be a thing over the years that whether you're fishing a 3/8 ounce jig or a 1/2 ounce jig, how fast it falls in the water column is super important. So naturally, it's going to be real important with your Nico rig or weighted wacky rig fishing. And there are two different ways to really weight your finesse worm or your Senko to make it fall faster to the bottom instead of just like slowly fishing it weightless. And one of them is the way that I think a lot of people go with is kind of a nail weight. So this is a 1/16 ounce nail weight. I kind of cut the nose cone off of the front of my finesse worm. It's just a green pumpkin 6.5 inch finesse worm. So these big bite bait nail weights actually have a threading, as you can see here, and it actually corkscrews on just like a screw, like you'd have for, you know, screwing something into the wall. And so with these, you actually want to twist it. Once you find the center of your worm, just kind of continue to twist it into the worm. Love to try to get it as straight as possible, like with all my soft plastic fishing. You just keep going, and it's a little difficult to get it straight. I'm going to kind of pull it away from the camera real quick so I can get it in there. I'm going to leave a part of it exposed so you know this is the one with the nail weight. So there it is. It's a little bit crooked, but once you just keep twisting it in there, that nail weight is not coming out, which that in and of itself is quite a tip, you know, because a lot of times if you just put some sort of cylindrical piece inside there, when you cast it, it's just going to sling it off. And that can be kind of frustrating because you have to put another one in there. And once it, you know, you kind of put one weight in there, it kind of bores a hole out and it makes it where it doesn't want to stay in nearly as well. So these threaded or screw type nail weights by Big Bite Baits are pretty cool. So basically this is probably the way that most people go about it. But then there's another type, also by Big Bite Baits. Basically it's a little kind of a head right there, a little lead head right there. And it has a corkscrew right there also. And you can screw that in. Just find the head of it and just, or the center as best as you can, and then just continue to screw that into the worm. When it gets all the way in there, what you have is just this kind of a little head right there. And you really wouldn't think that there's a whole lot of difference between those two, but how they fall in the water column definitely is different, because all the weight on this one is right on the very end. But with this, some of the weight is actually, or most of the weight is actually inside the body of the bait. So this one is going to kind of fall, you know, kind of in a spiral action or kind of sashay down to the bottom. And this one's going to kind of fall like your shaky head would. This is actually going to fall a little faster than this type. So you might think that you have both 1/16 ounce weights with these you know, kind of wacky rig weights or Nico rig weights, but one will actually have a faster descent. I wish I could show you some footage of this to kind of prove it to you, but one will actually have a faster descent than the other. So that's something to take into consideration. If you're fishing over deeper water, you might want to go with this one where the head is actually outside of the bait and have it fall faster to the bottom as opposed to this type. It's something to take into consideration if you're fishing a weighted wacky rig or what a lot of people call a Nico rig. Definitely look at those and look at the type that you might have or the type that you might be using. And you may play with the other one. You might find that you'll get a few more bites in a certain situation than others. So just a quick tackle prep tip: fishing your weighted wacky rig or Nico style baits, thinking about your rate of fall can definitely put more fish in the boat. So be mindful of that. And if you're not familiar with those two different types, check them out. Thanks for tuning into the YouTube channel. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. Also, go over and check out my merch. Team Niggemeyer Fishing. It's over at DeVilleOriginals.com. I'll leave a link in the description. It's really the best way you can kind of support the brand. I would certainly appreciate it. And I'll leave my link to my website as well as my social media channels. Thanks for watching, and until next time, good fishing.